We are back, and you just heard U.D.O. with the Bullet and the Bomb, and Aesma Daeva, Aesma something or the other. I have trouble pronouncing that name with, what is it, Tisza's Child. It's also complicated. It's hard for me to get down.
Which doesn't bode well for your evaluation of the song.
Yeah, let's go ahead and start with the Bullet and the Bomb, because I don't want to hammer you right away.
So this is U.D.O., his Thunderball release from 2004. I'm really a big fan of U.D.O.'s solo work. I've got a couple of his solo albums, and I mean, Man and Machine, and he's just, to me, his solo work, while maybe not as strong as some of the classic Except releases, is still really good metal.
Let me ask you a question to start off. Do you hear a difference between U.D.O. and Except?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you miss Wolf Hoffman. He has a very distinct style. Yeah. If we were to do a countdown of favorite guitarists, I'm pretty sure Wolf would be on my list.
Yeah. I definitely hear it, too. I just wondered if you did. Let me first start by saying, who doesn't love U.D.O. if for no other reason than the name? He's just such a great character. Let me tell you what I first thought about when I first heard the song. I couldn't help but think I'd heard it before. Does this song sound similar to you than another song that you've heard, or?
It's not unlike the few other songs that I've heard from U.D.O.
Obviously, I have a certain song in mind. What about Judas Priest One-on-One? Does that sound similar to you?
No, not really.
Okay, I've been accused of hearing similarities or seeing similarities when they're not there. Obviously, this song came first. I love this song, even if it does sound similar to something I've heard.
No, this song wouldn't have come first.
Are you sure? This was 2004, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, then I had that reversed. Okay, but anyway, this song sounds similar to it, if you ask me.
I mean, I guess the tempo may be.
I mean, I just hear it in the same guitar sound, even. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I don't like it. I still love this song. U.D.O. is one of those few vocalists, when you hear that voice, you know who it is. There is no doubt that U.D.O. is singing, and I love that about it. He's got uniqueness and creativity and harsh, grinding vocals. I love it.
Yeah, I don't think he's unique. I mean, there have certainly been a number of U.D.O. imitators over the years, some more successful than others, but he certainly was one of the first metal singers to have that buzzsaw vocal approach, and I think he's been very successful with it, and he has inspired a lot of vocalists.
He definitely has inspired a lot of vocalists. He is an inspiration to a lot of the bands that I listen to. And so, all in all, great song, great singer, thumbs up.
Excellent.
But let's talk about the next song. Why don't you go ahead and say that correctly so I don't screw it up?
Tisza's Child by Aesma Daeva. This is my pick off their Dawn of the New Athens album from 2007. The reason I chose this, the incredible Laurie Lewis. When we get to my list of top vocalists, Laurie's going to be right on there. Laurie Lewis from Therion. To me, she has one of the most majestic metal voices. This song captured a lot of great metal elements. However, I knew because of the orchestration, tempo, that it would fly all over you, and so let's just go ahead and get that out in the open. I can almost anticipate everything you'll say about that.
God, I wish I was there so I could throw something at you. I really do. Dude, she's not got a metal voice. She's got an opera voice. I haven't heard her sing metal. You honestly think she got a metal voice?
Oh, absolutely.
If opera is part of metal, yeah, she's on the level of Bubbles Dan, who was a great opera singer. But you know what I label this? This is goth music, if you ask me. This is not even metal. The operatic, symphonic part of this song overwhelms anything metal about it. It's just way too much opera for me, dude. Now, doesn't this girl sing for Therion also?
Damn it, dude. I said that 60 seconds ago.
You did. You're lying. You did not say that.
I mean,
I was even listening to you. There's something all up in my synapses, man.
Yeah. You wonder why I question your evaluation of songs, but
I live in that moment between the last synapse firing and the next synapse firing. And in between those two moments, this song sucked for me.
Yeah, so you would say this isn't metal.
God, you know what, dude? I'm going to take your argument. There are metal elements, but overall, this song is too slow. and plodding and too operatic for me to label it metal. Let me say this, and then I'm going to give you a chance to respond. For me, of all the songs that you have nominated, I have found something good in all of them. For me, this is the worst song you put up.
Yeah, and we should just name this Brian's of all the songs you've ever chosen on the podcast segment, because every podcast you make that same statement. Of all the songs you've chosen, I found something good in all of them except for this one.
I think I say to myself,
which makes me.
I say to myself, it can't get any worse. And every week, you never disappoint me. What do you say my worst song is?
That's an interesting question because, of course, to me, there are several songs that I would say shouldn't be on the podcast because they're not metal, but that I like a lot.
It's a simple question. What's the worst song you ever put up? Quit analyzing. Quit putting in a category. What's the song you hate the most?
Okay, I can tell you the answer to that.
What is it?
Oh, the band with the guys with the goatees. It was some sort of hipster band. And you justified it. Yeah, you justified saying, well, they're really leftist politically, as if that has anything to do with being metal.
Yeah, you hated them pretty good, so I'm just going to give that to you. I'm not even going to argue. That may be the worst song I've put up. It's interesting to me, though, your response to my question. You know, what's the worst song I put up? You had to analyze and go, well, I couldn't put it in this category and couldn't put it in this category. Just tell me. Just tell me what you think. You actually like this song. You actually think this is a metal song, Jesus Child.
Without question, it's a metal song.
I think without question is the most false statement you've made on this podcast.
I went back and listened to some older podcasts that we've done. And in one of them, I critiqued a song of yours and said, this is really just hard rock.
Right.
And the guitarist is using some metal elements.
Yeah.
And you responded and said, using metal elements means it's metal. There are certainly metal elements in this song.
Yeah.
So why, in a case of what seems to me to be a hard rock band, you would say, no, that's metal. But in this case, where there are some other elements, and you're keying in on the operatic element,
right.
Why does that make it non-metal?
Because the element that is non-metal overpowers the metal element. I hear this more as operatic and goth than I do metal. Do you think this song has all 5 of your definition of what is a heavy metal song?
Do you remember the device that I gave you?
Majestic sound, extreme vocals, terrible notes, allegiance, and lyrical darkness.
M is for majestic sound, certainly. This is very majestic.
God, your definition of majestic is beyond me if you think this is majestic.
There's like a minute-long intro that's just building like a symphony of sound. I mean, I don't know how much more majestic you can be than to have that sort of building of an atmosphere before the guitars kick in. E is for extreme vocals. You know, Brian, I think about this song. Let's put this song up next to a song that makes me want to vomit, but you probably like. We're Not Gonna Take It by Twisted Sister.
You are going to hell for that. God!
Now, let's think about the vocals in this song and compare it to the vocals in that song. Which would you say are more extreme?
Twisted Sister. God. They don't fit. Opera doesn't fit metal.
On what level do you find those awful vocals to be extreme?
I find them...
What is Dee Snider doing vocally that you or I couldn't do?
I find them more metal. I don't know how to describe it other than that.
We won't even have to get to the TAL because
where's the lyrical darkness in the song?
It's obvious. Someone told you a long time ago that Twisted Sister was metal, and so that's the idea you have in your head. The reality of whether it is or isn't is incidental. You have determined that it is, and then you see the world through that lens. It's pretty straightforward.
Let me tell you what lets me know that Twisted Sister's metal. Being at Roberts Stadium with 14,000 people with Dee Snider screaming, "Get off your effing asses and stand up and let's rock." I don't think that I would see the girl from
Lori Lewis,
Aesma Daeva, doing the same thing. I think that she would sing a nice erratic ballad, and everyone would feel nice and tranquil as they sang, and then we would all go home.